basket of tots. That did not feel good. Okay. Doing this for you, Joe. All right. I can't pull it up. That's what Yay! Thank you. Okay, what an asshole. Truck stops and gas stations. For a band on the road, they serve as not only places to obtain fuel, stretch your legs, and relieve yourself. They are also an oasis of delights, making the 5 to 7 minute break from driving something you anxiously anticipate like Christmas morning. Surveying the array of varied refreshments offered from one small town to the next provide the same excitement as seeing what that giant mystery box under the tree is hiding. One place may sell wine in a can and black Jesus candles. While just down the road you can buy handles of Thunderbird, Batarangs, and an assortment of boner-inducing pills. The possibilities are endless. We had just completed a short 4-day stint on the road, with our last stop being New Orleans. Of course, we had indulged ourselves in all that the Big Easy had to offer, and were now embarking on the very long drive back to Houston. I was driving and was utterly exhausted, and beyond that, I was dehydrated. My mouth was drier than a British sense of humor. And I was going to need something to quench my thirst sooner rather than later. "We're stopping here for gas," I said to Chris. My voice sounded like I had gargled with chunks of glass and gravel after smoking about 100 cigarettes. "Already? We've only been driving an hour," whined Chris, who had essentially been dozing since before we even got on I-10. "Yes, already. I'm thirsty as hell and we need to get gas sooner or later, so get over it." Chris's eyes fluttered closed again in lieu of a verbal response, and I got off at the next exit. I pulled into the first gas station I came to in the small Louisiana parish and hopped from the van, rousing Chris in the process. "You pump," I said. "I'll go in and pay." Chris rolled out from the other side of the van and stretched as I headed in to find something to drink. My mouth tasted like I had been chewing on batteries and dirty diapers, so I can only imagine what my breath smelled like. The worst part about it was there was absolutely no moisture in my mouth to try and swallow the taste away. It was like every available bit of hydration in my body had been redirected to more deserving and vital life-sustaining organs. I licked my crusty lips, almost cutting my tongue in the process as I approached the long row of clear cooler doors. I took a moment to survey my options just in case I found a random gem like pork cola or moose juice. Satisfied that I was getting only standard options, I set my sights on water. I settled on the biggest, cheapest bottle of water they had and yanked it from the shelf, letting the door swing shut behind me. But wait a minute. I caught the heavy glass door just before it slapped against the rubber gasket. Did I just see that? No. No, it couldn't be. Certainly dehydration had caused my brain to malfunction and make me see things, but just to be sure, I better double check. Something was there all right, but what in the hell was it? I moved in to get a closer look, trying to piece together what I was actually seeing. It was round and kind of pink, but it got dark and wrinkly towards the middle where several wiry hairs seemed to be sprouting. A yellowish-brown film was built up around the edges, and the light from the cooler reflected off its slick surface like sunbeams glinting off a muddy creek. Suddenly, the entire picture snapped into focus for me like one of those magic 3D picture piece of shit paintings that never work. I jumped back, bumping the end cap display of Frito, sending several bags flying as my water bottle hit the floor with a dull smack. Holy shit. I was looking at an asshole. Not just looking though, I had leaned in and stared down in horrid brown eye the cooler, bent over, and spreading his hairy, filthy, crusty asshole for all those seeking liquid refreshment to admire, and he was giggling! Don't get me wrong here. If showing your asshole to people randomly is your thing, more power to you, but at least have the decency to maintain the motherfucker. You're showing it off, for Christ's sake! A single second ticked by, and I knew exactly what I had to do. I had to show Chris. I'm not exactly sure what the asshole shower hoped to get out of his exposure, but I thought it was hilarious. I left my water on the floor and darted back out to the car, forgetting all about my severe dehydration. My only concern was tricking Chris into looking right into this asshole while I took a picture. Jesus Christ, was it going to be funny? I bit my lip to suppress the laughter as I ran up to the van. What gives, man? Chris had the gas nozzle into the van, squeezing the useless inactive handle. Did you pay or what? And didn't you get me something to drink? Dude, I said, grabbing the sleeve of his hoodie. You gotta come in here and see this. Fuck the gas for now and come inside. What? What is it? There's a naked chick in the drink cooler blowing some dude. Come check it out. Chris followed behind as I rushed the two of us back into the gas station. I led him right into the cooler, seeing that the cooler door, seeing that I had made a bigger mess than I thought out of the Fritos display. I didn't even notice the clerk at the counter glaring at me. Tricking Chris into looking at this asshole was the only thing that mattered in my world right now. That one, I said, pointing to the door. Just open it up and look right behind the roll of water. I swear, it's totally awesome. Chris looked slightly suspicious, and while he may have thought I was fucking with him, there was no way he would ever guess at what was actually waiting in the cooler. I had my phone out, poised to take the perfect reaction shot as Chris slowly opened the door. I don't see anything, he said. Right through there, I said, pointing. Get closer and wait for your eyes to adjust. It's kind of dark in there. Chris ducked his head and put his eye right up to where I had directed him. He stared for seconds, shook his head, and grabbed a bottle of water, letting the door close. Very funny, dude, he said. I'm not sure what the point of that was, but if you needed more gas money, all you had to do was yell at me and I would have come in. What? I ripped the door open and stuck my head up to the shelf. Sure enough, the asshole was gone. Chris had already made his way to the counter to pay for the water and gas. I'll see you in the car, he called back to me from the door. And hurry up, I'm tired as hell, I want to get home. Was it possible that I had hallucinated an asshole? I guess anything is possible, but man, that seems highly unlikely. I started making my way towards the door, passing the surly clerk who'd been giving me the stink eye earlier. His shoulders were covered in dandruff like snow-covered mountaintops, and his face was the leathery yellow of an old catcher's mitt. He snorted as he winked at me and giggled. What's the matter? Asked the clerk as I pushed the door open to leave. You didn't see anything you liked? Or is it maybe that you did? I could still hear him laughing from halfway across the parking lot on my way to the car. And it has haunted my dreams ever since. I don't look so forward to stopping at gas stations anymore, and now I always send Chris in to pay.